these 2024 rap beefs have been getting out of hand to the extent that someone on Reddit made a whole flow chart about all the different, alliances and enemies. And that person's name is Zion. And of course, Drake is very much in the middle of a lot of it. But we had to make our own top 3 countdown. So, excuse my voice because, I was at a concert recently and it's just coming back. But let's get into the top 3 bronze, silver, and gold medal level beefs of 2024. So this top 3 list has to start off with Chris Brown versus Quavo with the bronze medal. Number 3 has to go to them, partly because I didn't really think Chris Brown had it in him to be rapping the way he did. But apparently he started off rapping, but, he has enough talent to dance and sing and all that other stuff. So, for marketability purposes, he was marketed as an R&B star. And of course, he's had a lot of controversies with a lot of people involved in violence. So his popularity, and a lot of, his critics have made it kind of unpopular to listen to him. But when it comes to, his beef with Quavo seems to have started it with the Tender song and the bars that are allegedly about Karuchi Tran, I guess, really kicked off this whole thing and hit a nerve with Chris Brown, who shot back with the epic diss track Weakest Link. And no matter how you feel about Chris Brown and his antics, his rapping was very solid, and he has one of the very most powerful diss tracks out right now, especially his bars about Takeoff's death were extremely cold-blooded. So Chris Brown and Quavo, they made it to the bronze level with their beef. Number 2, silver medal has to go to this Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj beef. Now, Nicki was having a fabulous year before this beef. Pink Friday 2 did very well on the charts, and then she kicked off her Gag City tour, which I actually got to see, which is why my voice is like this right now. And it was actually incredible, especially when you got to appreciate her discography and just how long she had the rap game in a chokehold in one night. It's very impressive. Now, even though things were going very well for Nicki Minaj, especially with her doing all these red carpets for Barbie World and having that huge rap song with Ice Spice that remixed the Aqua Barbie World song, and again nominated for Grammys. This rap beef was devastating, I think, more especially to Nicki, because I do believe that she lost her Barbie World Grammy over it. There is no way that the Grammys would make a mistake on their website and on their automated tweets about Nicki Minaj being the winner. But after, this rap beef dust cleared, people did not like the way, Nicki handled it, and I think she lost the Grammy over it. But let's talk about how it started. So, Megan Thee Stallion, she's had a very tumultuous time, especially since the pandemic and all that she went through with Tory Lanez, and what their legal battle was. There were a lot of men, especially, that were siding with Tory Lanez and getting on the Megan Thee Stallion hate train over her getting hurt by Tory Lanez, which was very strange. So Megan Thee Stallion was quiet about it. She dealt with it. But in 2024, she decided enough was enough. Tired of all the people that are, throwing dirt on my name, especially over Tory Lanez, who was convicted of, having his weapon and just caught up in all kinds of other violent incidents with people like August Alsina. So Megan Thee Stallion really emerged victorious in terms of like the court of law, and in terms of her rap career. She decided to not be silent. She released the diss track Hiss, which really took aim at a lot of people, mostly Tory Lanez, definitely a little bit at Drake, and Nicki Minaj also caught a stray with the bar about Megan's Law, because anybody who knows anything about Nicki's personal life knows that her husband has had legal troubles in terms of past offenses with minors, and they were fighting a whole court case about him needing to register and having their address on an offenders list being dangerous because she's a celebrity and all these things. So when Megan dropped the Hiss diss track and the Megan's Law bar came out, Nicki Minaj went in a rage about it for a couple days on Twitter, and she was releasing all these lies, talking about people who got fragment feet and big feet, and eventually it culminated in the track known as Bigfoot. And I think what crossed the line for a lot of people was the bar in Bigfoot that mentioned Megan lying on her dead mama. Now, to be fair to Nicki Minaj, she said she was re-quoting Party or Partisan, which was Megan's ex, who made a diss track about Megan using that line, basically. But the way Nicki Minaj said it repeatedly, and just the timing of it all right before the Grammys, made me definitely think that she lost her Grammy and a lot of respect over that line, even though that Grammy was deserved. So this is why this is the number 2 rap beef, because I think especially Nicki suffered some damage in terms of losing her Grammy, and the public sympathy and respect that she had garnered kind of got lost when Bigfoot was released. Alright, so this is the mother of all rap beefs for 2024. And it deserves the gold medal accordingly. None other than Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. Now, if you're talking about 2024 proper, the way this particular beef started for some people, and I'm quoting the BBC right now because this is like international news and rap history at this point. It says in October of last year, Drake released his 8th album, For All the Dogs, which featured a collaboration with J. Cole called First Person Shooter. In one verse, Cole suggested that he, Drake, and Kendrick were the big 3 of the current era of hip-hop. Now, this, I guess, did not make Kendrick happy. And a whole bunch of people joined this beef, including Metro Boomin, Future, The Weeknd, randomly, just like a whole bunch of people. But really, Drake and Kendrick Lamar took this beef all the way to the ground, and even got families involved. And even though, again, this rap beef proper seemed to have started from that first person shooter, this J. Cole has since bowed out and said he wanted to make peace. And apparently, if you go way, way back, again, this is from the BBC article, it says that when Kendrick Lamar was a young up-and-comer, Drake offered him a helping hand by inviting him onto his Take Care album and giving him an opening spot on his 2012 Club Paradise tour. But in 2013, After the success of Kendrick Lamar's debut album, Good Kid, Mad City, he made his ambitions clear. During a guest verse on Big Sean's Control, he called out Drake, J. Cole, Meek Mill, Mac Miller, Pusha T, and hosts of other rappers, warning them, "I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you." And Drake told Billboard after this that he didn't have anything to say about this. And Drake, acted like he wasn't phased, but obviously Drake was phased and bothered. And at this point, Kendrick Lamar is the winner of this beef. I don't care what anybody says, based on the lyrics of the last 2 tracks that have been released. And I believe that the last 2 tracks about, their families respectively were the hardest and the culmination of, all the different diss songs. And, when you're talking about Drake's song Family Matters, the bars about, Kendrick Lamar having a mixed wife, even though, he is all about black pride and being what Drake says, a fake activist, acting like he's freeing slaves, all that was very much disrespectful. And again, bringing up Kendrick's family was disrespectful, but it does seem like Kendrick has a real upper hand on Drake, because basically within the same time frame, Kendrick had the track Meet the Grams with bars that I think have ended Drake. Basically, there's a lot of bars about Drake having hidden children. We knew about, the son that was hidden, but Kendrick revealed that Drake has a daughter as well who he was hiding, and then all these bad habits like gambling, and really likens Drake to an Epstein or Weinstein, so I believe that this beef, it's keeping on going, but Kendrick has won to me, because while Drake, is very famous for his catchy, sometimes more comical rhymes, Kendrick has been serious, releasing diss track back after back after back. I mean, we're talking about Euphoria and then LA 616, back to back to back disses, and Meet the Grams was just the cherry on top, the icing on the cake. I feel like it's the closing of the casket onto Drake, because he calls out his whole family. I mean, it's like a letter to his son, his mom, his dad, his daughter that he's hiding, and to Drake himself. There's no coming back from that. But either way, if you think Drake or Kendrick won, hip-hop won, because this is history, and I've always been a Kendrick fan. And just to wax philosophically, about how someone can do better, because a lot of it is challenging Drake to be better and calling out a lot of things that are wrong with hip-hop, especially when it comes to, like grooming behavior and the outright targeting of girls, the fetishizing of women, over-sexualizing of women. It's like Kendrick Lamar is casting out a lot of demons in hip-hop, just even by going after Drake. He even quotes Cat Williams, who kind of started off this year saying that this was going to be the year where everything got exposed. And Kendrick, is definitely in that same vein as the Cat Williams. And it is an epic beef. It's definitely going to go down in hip-hop history. And it is the gold medal beef of 2024. Put in the comments, how you feel about all the beefs, how you would rank them. And I'll leave you with a final word that, you're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. And, rap beef is just something that's going to be here, because that's part of the culture.